at 547-0952.
Biggest variety in the morning.
For the record,
Radio
proudly
Cayman.
brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Conner.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
with Orrett Conner.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Conner.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 14th day of April 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And again, this morning, we want to give a big shout out to our two colleagues here at Radio Cayman, DJ Lynn and Mr. Joel Wilson, wishing them, both of them, a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Conner, and I welcome you to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number, 925-3261. This morning, after our first commercial break, we will have candidates representing the Cayman Islands National Party in the studio with us in the form of Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren, and I will tell you in advance. The phone lines won't be open because of the limited amount of time that the candidates will have in the studio with us. We encourage you to send in your questions or comments, which we will share online, which we will share on air. Send those comments to our WhatsApp number 925-3261. So first of all, let's look at the birthday greetings. And we have been asked to send out birthday greetings. Give a big shout out to Miss Nanalee Solomon Cover, who's celebrating her birthday. Birthday greetings are coming from Mom, Dad, and the rest of the family, and wishing you many, many more birthdays as well. Also, we see Tara Abdul-Jabbar celebrating a birthday today. Simon Watson celebrating a birthday on the 21st. That's Miss Susan's nephew. He's celebrating his birthday next week, Monday. Mikey Henry also celebrating a birthday on the 21st. Michelle LeMay also celebrating one on the 21st. Karen Hides on the 21st. Courtney Mellors on the 21st. Mr. Orville Daniels on the 22nd, and Mr. Patrick Schmidt also on the 22nd. Looking to see if we have any. The only one we have today is Tara Abdul-Jabbar. And to remind you folks that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And also by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Okay. Some news, and I'm sure that with this being an election year, election month as well, just a few weeks away, that this will probably be the subject of conversation, but I believe that it is extremely important for us we should always honor our Caymanians, past and present. So we see that the Health Services Authority has announced the renaming of Georgetown Hospital in honor of Mr. Anthony Eden. And I think I have enough time to read it. So the Health Services Authority is honored to announce the renaming of the Georgetown Hospital to the Anthony S. Eden Hospital. This honor recognizes the extraordinary contributions of the Honorable Anthony Samuel Eden, OBE, JP, retired, whose visionary leadership and unwavering dedication have profoundly transformed the healthcare landscape of the Cayman Islands. Mr. Anthony Eden served as the Minister of Health from 1994 to 2000 and 2005 to 2009. During his tenure, he led strategic initiatives and reforms that elevated the quality and accessibility of healthcare services, significantly enhancing the well-being of our nation. Among the highlights of Mr. Eden's visionary leadership are the completion of the Cayman Islands Hospital in 1999, the expansion of the district health centers, a strategic move to improve healthcare accessibility, and the introduction of mandatory health insurance. Additionally, he was instrumental in reforming the Health Practitioners Bill, introducing the National Strategic Plan for Drug Abuse Prevention and Rehabilitation effectively leading to the creation of the Caribbean Haven in Breakers, establishing the National Strategic Health Plan, as well as forging strategic partnerships with international healthcare institutions to enhance tertiary care. In offering tributes to Mr. Eden, Premier and Minister of Health Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly expressed, and I quote, "We honor the legacy and contribution of Mr. Eden, whose vision, dedication, and sacrifice have been truly transformative. His unwavering commitment has significantly advanced public health in the Cayman Islands, ensuring that all Caymanians have access to quality modern health care. The foundation he laid continues to support our progress and to position us as a beacon of advanced health care on the global stage. Recognizing this stalwart ensures his contribution continues to inspire future generations of Caymanians." Lauding Mr. Eden, Health Services Authority Acting Board Chair Joy Vernon noted, "The HSA is proud to acknowledge the invaluable contribution of Mr. Eden over his decades of service. His foresight and sense of community paved the way for us to continue offering extraordinary health care services at the Health Services Authority. His principled approach and accountability to the people of the Cayman Islands speaks volumes about his commitment to ensuring access to quality care in proximity to family and loved ones." Lizette Yearwood, CEO of the Health Services Authority, emphasized the naming of the hospital in Mr. Eden's honor reflects the profound and lasting impact he has made on healthcare in the Cayman Islands, championing access to cutting-edge advanced care through effective stewardship. We are indeed happy that he is here today to witness the celebration of his legacy. The team at the HSA remains committed to ensuring we provide high-quality, accessible health care, and the experience of our patients continues to embody Mr. Eden's vision and compassion. In offering his remarks, Mr. Eden expressed his deep gratitude, stating, and I quote, "It is indeed an honor to have served my country and to have played a role in the establishment and advancement of this vital sector. I am grateful for the recognition bestowed upon me, as it not only reflects the journey we have undertaken, but also underscores the spirit of community where we can all play a part in taking care of each other." And I just want to say again, we're in the political season. Some call it the silly season. But I would say to all candidates, all political parties as well, please do not politicize this at this point in time, in full respect and due respect of Mr. Anthony Eden. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, we will have candidates, Cayman Islands National Party candidates, Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren in the studio. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Hey Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked, you can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents, browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students, just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more.
The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, my pleasure to have in the studio with me two of the candidates representing the Cayman Islands National Party in the upcoming elections. Mr. Bud Johnson, who is seeking to represent the constituency of Georgetown East, and Mr. Craig Merren, who is seeking to represent the constituency of Georgetown West. We have about 10 minutes, and of course we go to our 8 o'clock news, and then when we return, the gentleman will still be in the studio with us. I believe that we have enough time for each of you to reintroduce yourselves to our listening and viewing audience. There may always be someone out there who's not familiar with you. We know that you guys, that everyone's knocking on doors, pounding the pavement out there, meeting and greeting people, but there may always be someone. So it's always good to reintroduce yourselves to our audience. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, OC. Thank
you very
much.
Mr. O'Connor. Thank you very much.
I'll let Craig go first. But I got to have a mute button for him.
You don't want to do that. I'll lead up this 10 minutes fast. Good morning, Cayman Islands. Good morning, fellow Georgetown West constituencies. My name is Craig Tyrone Merren, and I will be running for the Georgetown West constituency in the upcoming election, which is 15 days away. I cover the Winslow Park, Gorin Avenue, Elgin Avenue, Hospital Road, Smith Road, down at Hope Drive, Paxton Street, Walker Road, Middle Road, Maple Road, Newport Avenue, Kentire Street, South Church Street, Memorial Avenue and Gorin Avenue, and Melmac Avenue, many different parts of the Georgetown West. Thank you for tuning in this morning with Mr. Orrett Conner and For the Record. We'll see if I keep this up, I can take your job.
Yes.
And hope you're having a blessed day, you all, and all the families, and the entire Cayman Islands. And thank you for tuning in.
Okay.
Good morning, Cayman. My name is Bud Johnson. To most of you, my name is actually Vassel Godfrey Johnson Jr. Born and raised in South Sound, and I've lived all my life in the Cayman Islands, or except 4 years that I went away to college. Grew up for, I guess, the first half of my life in South Sound, right by Smith's Backadere. I got it right. Yeah. Nowadays, they
don't come with that Smith Gold thing.
Miss Byrne will hang me. And for 30 years, I got married in 1987 to my wife, Sheila Magnus, Dr. Magnus's daughter, and we moved at that time, and I've settled since 1993. I've been really settled and living on the edge of Outpost Street. They like to call it Georgetown South, but us South Sounders don't believe it. It's actually right on the edge of Georgetown East. And I'm running for the constituency of Georgetown East, which stretches from Outpost Street all the way up to, actually the northeast tip is the end of Bimini Drive behind Grand Harbour. It encompasses the South Sound Road. It encompasses part of Crew Road. It encompasses Randike Gardens, part of Tropical Gardens Road, and it's a big geographical thing, but it's 1,582 constituents. I have basically a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, 4 years in Scotiabank, took off my coat and tie, put on a pair of shorts, and went to work on the water, which was where my passion was. And I worked with the Landed Submarines for 34 years, 27 as general manager, up until COVID, when we made the decision to close the business down. And I was happily retired with my wife for 4 years, and then, we looked at the condition.
Retired for 4 years, not wife for 4 years, right?
Wife of 37 years gone. That's why I like video. So you catch all my mistakes. All of us have our flaws. None of us are perfect. I basically made the decision to get into the political arena with the Cayman Islands National Party, Craig Merren, Dan Scott, Gary Reddy at the time, and that's where I am. You got 15 days and counting.
Yep. Now, some people will complain and say the amount of campaign time between the dissolution of a parliament and the election that is too short. Some will say it is too long. Some people say, you end up with voter fatigue. What have you discovered on the campaign trail? Are you finding that people are still extremely enthusiastic, about the whole process?
Yes. Yeah. Yes and no. But yes, I think because this is a very one of the most important elections in its history, based on the so many issues that we have faced over the last couple of years, and I haven't seen a movement like this, and also social media also has people are more informed today. All right, we go back 25 years ago when I was doing the advocate for Cayman Future, and I was in my mid-20s, almost 30s, and at the time a bunch of us. If this was the group of young people that's been involved today that is concerned, if I could take that back 25 years ago, we've been in such I think a much better place. But a lot of people are, and like I said, I think this is going to be one of the most important elections where the voters will make a choice for their families, for this country, and the future generation. And I like to dub it as I was telling Bud a few days ago, this is just as important as the Cayman Islands were discovered by Christopher Columbus in 15. I'll lose my geography now. History now.
1503.
1503.
So the records say.
Yeah, so the record.
For the record.
Yeah, for the record. So yes.
Jose, I would say I declared late. It was, I think I made a decision the first week of January. And I've had a lot of catching up to do. I know that because I've not had a break, right? and I know, 2 weeks ago, I sat back and said, we canceled one backyard meeting because there were only 4 people, and we were having one 2 days later down the road, and just I said, if I hadn't canceled that meeting, that would have been 9 out of 10 nights that I was out on the road, or in a meeting or a thing, right? So it is taxing. Is it too long or too short? I think a lot depends on the structure you have around you. Because I've been fortunate enough to have, despite the fact of coming out late, in my own Georgetown East committee, really, really good support. Sheila is my brand manager. You saw her this morning.
Yes.
You got to dress like a Sheila. And I got Tess in the background helping with some speeches and so on. She stays out of the limelight. But I got Juliet and Sharon there as well. And they basically, somebody said, "But can you come here?" And on this date I said, "You need to call Juliet. She'll tell me where we're going to go." So it is tiring.
Yeah,
it is. And I've seen some of the fatigue in the committee members as well. But we all, we said, okay.
Still remain upbeat.
There's a I've seen 200-meter runners lose a race by looking around, and the thing I said, basically, we keep our heads down, we go through the finish line, it's 15 days to go, and then the voters will make their decision.
Yep.
The one thing more hard like this is riding 100 miles, OC. If I were riding more, then I would be fitter, but I'm still pushing on, and it's like a tour.
Okay. Folks, we've reached that time, top of the hour, our 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation will continue with Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren. Both of them, each of them seeking to represent the constituency of Georgetown East, that is Mr. Bud Johnson, and the constituency of Georgetown West, Mr. Craig Merren. They represent the Cayman Islands National Party. We will continue to converse with them. Don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, please send them to our WhatsApp number because the phone lines will not be open. That WhatsApp number is 925-3261. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Conner. And studio time by Foster's is a minute after 8.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Feast without the fuss.
Make Foster's part of your tradition this year with our full holiday feast.
For $94.99, you can feed up to 8 with a full meal. Order online, pick up in store.
Choose your main from our 12-hour smoked pork, oven-roasted turkey, or maple-glazed ham.
Or indulge your guests with our extra special herb-roasted leg of lamb feast or a 7-pound fried snapper for $119.99.
Order your full Easter feast online today at fosters.ky.
Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Several potential projects are heading to the Central Planning Authority this week looking for a green light from the development regulators. There's an uncontested application for land clearing on the corner of Passion Close and Tiverton Drive and Lookout Gardens, Boddentown, to have it, quote, filled for future planning. In its response, the Department of Environment says it, quote, does not support speculative clearing of parcels prior to planning permission for development being granted. Imagine Cayman is looking for an after-the-fact approval of an entertainment structure on Seafarers Way in Georgetown, just south of Sandbar. The planning department says this is a mobile entertainment structure with tables and seating split between 2 floors. The CPA will consider the mobile nature of the structure and whether it is, quote, suitable for the location. An application for food stalls on Albert Panton Street in Georgetown is heading back to the board after being adjourned in November. The proposal is for a 581-square-foot single-story building addition that would accommodate 3 new takeout restaurants. Issues for consideration are lack of parking and concerns from the Department of Environmental Health asking for more details about the potential food prep. The applicant says, quote, we do not currently have a tenant signed up to operate from these locations, but they add under all scenarios, they will, quote, fully comply with any and all Department of Environmental Health regulations. Finally, of note, Cayman Shores is asking to modify its mixed-use building to increase a large portion of it from 5 stories to 10 stories with roof space in Camana Bay, adding 9 additional apartments to the development. The meeting is taking place at 10 a.m. on Wednesday at the Government Administration Building. You can find the full agenda at planning.ky. In other news, reinsurance experts and professionals had a productive few days at an industry event at the Ritz. Here's CIGTV's Levita Thompson.
The Cayman International Reinsurance Companies Association, or CIRCA, presented its annual 2-day conference, Reconnect 2025, on April 10th and 11th. The conference covered a number of topics ranging from the benefits of operating a reinsurer in the Cayman Islands to macro trends impacting the reinsurance landscape. Chief Officer for Financial Services and Commerce, Dr. Dax Bazdeo, delivered remarks on behalf of the government at the event.
I'd like to thank all of the reinsurance professionals here today who have supported the development of financial services in the Cayman Islands over the years and, by extension, the growth of this conference. It makes a tangible impact on our economy and our local reinsurance sector, and the Cayman Islands government is glad to have you with us.
This year's conference featured a, quote, expanded agenda with 2 days of discussion, networking, and insights into the sector's development. For more information, head to circa.ky. And get ready for an unforgettable evening as the Cayman Youth Choir takes you on a swinging safari through song.
This vibrant concert will showcase the incredible talent and energy of our young singers as they perform a dynamic and diverse repertoire filled with rhythm, harmony, and adventure.
Presented by Cayman Arts Festival, the executive director Mary Scana tells Radio Cayman this family-friendly event promises joy, rhythm, and heart. A, quote, true celebration of youth, community, and musical expression. It's all taking place on June 19th at 6 p.m. at the Harkle Theatre, and tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.com. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with David Harper. More than 10,000 people have fled Sudan's largest refugee camp over the past 2 days after a coordinated attack by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Doctors Without Borders says the civilian left Zamzam in the western region of Darfur and moved to the town of Tawila, more than 70 kilometres away. The European Union's foreign policy chief, Kaja Kallas, has called for Ukraine's allies to put Russia under maximum pressure to end the war. It comes amid widespread outrage over the deadliest Russian attack on civilians this year. EU foreign ministers are considering how to respond. Japan's population of ethnic Japanese fell by a record amount last year, reflecting its declining birth rate and ageing society. Excluding foreign residents, the population fell by almost 900,000 to just over 120 million. Markets have reacted cautiously to President Trump's decision to grant tariff exemptions to smartphones, laptops and semiconductors, notably those produced in China. Stock prices are up in Europe, echoing gains in Asia, where many leading tech stocks rose sharply. At least 40 people have been killed in an attack by gunmen in Nigeria's Central Plateau state. Residents in the town of Zika say the attackers invaded in the early hours of Monday and started shooting indiscriminately. Women and children are reported to be the main casualties. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. But I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, sight screenings, spelling bees, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2024-2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 77%. The barometric pressure 30.02 inches and rising. The wind is east-northeast at 14 knots. Overnight low temperature was 78 degrees. Synopsis indicate fresh to locally strong winds and moderate to rough seas are expected across the Cayman area through tonight as an area of high pressure maintains a tight pressure gradient around the Cayman area. An increase in cloud coverage and chance for showers is likely this afternoon as residual moisture from a shear line retrogresses across the northwest Caribbean. A small craft advisory will be in effect through late tonight. Radar images show a line of showers east of Grand Cayman moving towards the west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s with the heat index near 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet, mainly along the northern shores. Swells are likely along the northern shores with some swells possible along the western shores as well. Small craft should exercise caution over the open waters. Tonight we can expect partly to fair skies with a 20% chance of late night showers and temperatures falling to the mid to upper 70s. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet, decreasing and becoming moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet tonight. Swells are likely along the northern shores with some swells possible along the western shores as well. Small craft should continue to exercise caution over the open waters through late tonight. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:18, low tide this afternoon at 3:48, and a high tide again tonight at 10:51. The sun will set this evening at 6:41 and will rise tomorrow morning at 8 minutes after 6. And the outlook is calling for a further increase in cloudiness and showers from tomorrow morning as the encroaching shear line accompanied with residual moisture produces some scattered showers with isolated thunderstorms across the northwest Caribbean. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
I was undercover and had just recovered the stolen artwork, but...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long. I found the art thief in France, but ended up becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. So I had to stick around for a while. But I was able to handle all my insurance needs with CG's online portal.
The online portal? Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britgay, where people come first.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning to you. This time we take a quick look at what's happening on our roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing moderately in both directions. Further down, steady traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway and coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, as well as Agnes Way. Downtown Georgetown on Edward Street flowing nicely into Georgetown on Shedmore, looking good as well. Coming from the Westway four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. On the Westway Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions, as well as on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. And coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway, steady but flowing traffic, and continuing on to North Sound Road, moderate flow of traffic heading towards the Industrial Park area. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 12:15. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and click it or tick it.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The nation listens. The candidates speak. Subway presents the General Election Debates live in studio on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9 in the Sister Islands every Monday and select Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. 2 sessions, one powerful discussion. With Election Day fast approaching, hear what the candidates have to say on the cost of living, housing and development, economic growth, sustainability, education, transport, tourism, immigration and more. Who has the vision? Who has the plan? Hear it all unfold live, unfiltered, and on the voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM and 93.9, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Visit Radio Cayman's social media pages for debate details. Brought to you in part by Cayman Enterprise City, Reflections, UCCI, and YUM.
With Orrett Conner.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before I pass the mic back over to Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren, we've been asked to give a birthday shout out, birthday greetings to a wonderful lady, Miss Valerie, who's the Health Services Authority lab technician at the Faith Hospital. Today is her birthday. God's blessings forever be with her. So, Miss Valerie, the HSA lab technician at the Faith Hospital in Cayman Brac, happy birthday greetings going out to you as well. So, folks, just to remind you, those of you who may have just joined us, that we have in the studio two of the Cayman Islands National Party's candidates, Mr. Bud Johnson, contesting the seat in Georgetown East, and Mr. Craig Merren contesting the seat in Georgetown West. The whole issue of the referendum questions, some candidates, some parties have chosen not to focus on it because the focus is really on getting elected. And some may say they haven't, but they could argue we didn't really have a hand in this. This was a decision that was made, by our parliament, the sitting parliament. Yeah. We didn't have a hand in this at all. And while we may have views, our focus really is going to be on the election. What do you say?
Also, I think begin with, I guess is my position, maybe not the party's position, but we, the Cayman Islands National Party, did about 1,500 surveys of registered voters. This is not social media where any and everybody can respond. We targeted homes where we knew our constituents were, and we went around and did surveys. We did 1,500, which is about a 6% of the registered voters. And one of the questions we asked, we said, what are the top 3 issues that you think the government needs to address? We ended up with about 12, 14 different topics that we have used to formulate the basis of what we would do if we get into government by addressing those issues. And neither lottery nor cannabis, nor cruise made that list of the top 14. Fair enough, the previous government saw fit to put them on there for valid reasons, but we've focused on what our constituents told us are the important issues. You know, the important issues are the financial status of our country, right? Things such as down in many areas of the flooding because of the progressive change in because of over the years how our planning laws have changed, whereas, you know, I might have built at 3 foot 40 years ago, and for various reasons Craig bought the land next door and they're requiring him to build at this, and we're already living in a swamp. So you know, those are issues that are there. On the specific referendum questions themselves, first, they're non-binding, right? I mean, we could have, for example, on the lottery, we could have an overwhelming 90% in favor of it. There's no commitment on the government to do anything about it. And the same applies. We could have an overwhelming 90% no, and there's no commitment on the part of the government to do anything. I think the second thing is they don't really tell us, the questions don't really give us enough detail to make an informed decision, you know. And I'll speak to two of them in particular. My years in the tourism industry, 34 years, 27 as a general manager, I had to sit across a table from shore excursion managers in Florida, sitting negotiating prices, and I know I know how it feels to be on that end of it, and I understand it. But I'll address. I want to talk about the cannabis, because as I talk to people, decriminalization is something that I think many people don't understand. Right? It is not legalization. It still remains a crime to possess or to trade in or anything else marijuana. You will not be able to stand on the street corner and smoke it. It's illegal. The current, as I understand it, and I've reached out to some people who retired from the court system, and my understanding is that currently, if I was to be arrested for smoking a spliff or for possession of a small amount of marijuana, my first offense, right, particularly for young people, I would not have a record. A second offense, I would have a choice. Either I could enter a court-supervised
program,
remedial or rehab, or if I didn't do that, I have a record. Now, my understanding is that if this referendum were to go through to decriminalize it, I wouldn't be required to even go to court. I don't know about go to court. I would not be required. The important part, if they put this in place, I would not be required to enter that rehab, court-supervised rehabilitation. And we said, okay, so the other side that I think a lot of people don't understand is that the use is common, particularly in our society, particularly in our young people. And the more important thing is that a human brain doesn't, fully mature until the age of 25. So if we do this, a lot of our young people who see it as the right thing to do, they're going to be subjecting their brains to the cannabis effect while they're still developing. And I think that's an issue that I would have with that. So I mean, I know where I'm going to vote on that one. And as a party members, we're allowed to vote whichever way we want on it.
Okay.
You know, so you know that I could go down the other two as well, and it's just not enough information to the public in it for us to go and say, this is a yes or this is a no. And I say it either side. The good thing about it is that none of them are binding. But the thing that I challenge myself with is everybody is, particularly the cruise pair, it's such an emotive, more so than anything else. And none of us sit on the fence. We're either out here on this end of the seesaw or over here on this end. And it's becoming such a big topic that everybody wants to know about, that it's taken away from the major issues that I think this election should be about. The financial situation of the government, the flooding in the areas, and the education system, the long-term things that we need to address. So,
do you believe that the cruise berthing question, or is that the one that brings out the fact that there are vested special interest groups that are involved in that, as opposed to the others? There's always an interest group, somewhere, but the financial, interest there.
I think, OC, one of the challenges is the vagueness of the question. In the absence of transparency, we are left to speculate. And if they had said, this is what we have done, this is what we plan to do, then this is what it will cost us, and these are the number of jobs that are not, and you could look at it from that perspective, I think a lot of that speculation would go away. But yes, I I understand the industry. I understand the national economic benefit or lack thereof. And when you look at what it's going to cost, I have to begin to scratch my head and say, what is the point of this in the big issue, But once again, I also know a number of businesses who basically, trying to survive through COVID, had to, make loans and all the rest of it, individuals and businesses, to get through. And they're now looking at, how do I get out from under this debt? And they're looking at for whatever options they can. So I understand both sides of it. But I think from a global standpoint, one of the things that the Cayman Islands National Party will do is we've got to get value for money, wherever it is. What we spend on has to be in the interest of the Cayman Islands as a whole, especially with big projects. It's one thing to say you got to tackle the flooding in one area or the other area, such like that. But when you go to the kind of money that we're talking about, with some of the schools and some of the cruise pier and stuff, we have to make sure in the bigger picture that we're getting value for money, especially in light of the projected year end of the government, what they put out in it. And that's not I don't see it as a major issue, providing the government that gets in on the 1st of May tackles the current budget to make sure that we're not in a deficit at the end. And anybody that tells you they're going to do anything else, you got to be scared because of the framework for financial responsibility.
FFR, yes. Okay. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to hear some more from Mr. Craig Merren as well. Don't change that dial. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
I got time to go there.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Those of you just joining us, to remind you that we have in the studio with us two members from the Cayman Islands National Party, Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren. You may see Mr. Johnson missing from the frame, but he will be back in the studio in a few seconds. Meanwhile, Mr. Craig Merren, you were going to talk about a different subject and observations in terms of what's been occurring in the Cayman Islands and an important subject that needs to be addressed.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me this time to talk about this, because I don't think over the last couple of weeks, not too many have covered this, and this is the mental health issues that we have in Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into depth on me personally, and I got some family members, a family member who really has a condition, we like to say challenges, but one of the things that they have vast amount of information, and with over the years experience with those diagnosed with autism, ADHD, ASD, what they call neurodivergent people with these conditions that they're actually born with. And we're seeing that a lot now in Cayman. We see the struggles that students are having from a young age. The thing is, it could be detected now at a very young age, but our schools need to be equipped with the teachers and special classrooms for these students. Many schools over the years, they had special classroom for those that really wasn't, going to be the lawyer, the doctor, the pilot, like special education and stuff like that. And I don't know what they're called today in the schools, but I know family members and individuals that attend school that have learning issues.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that has to do with their mental capacity. They're just born with it. Everybody born with something. And part of it is the autism that someone might have on a particular spectrum. We need to I want to talk about early detection from a very young age, and schools that need to be equipped with it. I know years ago there was a school called Hope Academy that moved up. I think they're still there. They're run by Miss Tibbetts. Where that was her specialty. And prior to that, there was a small section of that was at the Cayman Prep School, or one of those schools. I can't really remember now where she had left, and that was her main focus.
Mm.
It almost kind of reminded me sometime of the Marvel comic books, those that have special powers, and you had you had Wolverine with these sort of thing, and they went to a special school because of their particular powers that they had. That's comic book and stuff. But in the real world, we do have people that's on the spectrum, but they're super smart. That doesn't mean that they're weak. That means that they have certain strength and the conditions that they have. I think Cayman need to start to embrace that. I think we have. I think we've noticed that over the years. We've sent people off to schools in different parts of the U.S., Canada, as well as Jamaica over the many years. But I think this is something that we need to look into now as our population grow. We also need to look at the perhaps do some testing in bloodlines to see where these things are coming from for early detection, for if that family decided to have a family of their own. Yeah. I think we have enough medical information in that area, like Dr. Lockhart, Dr. Mafu, and many others in Cayman today, that also work with the Sunrise Adult Training Center, as well as Inclusion Cayman. Because from our early childhood, we want to make sure that they are embraced, that they are looked after, and that they feel special. We got to get rid of this stigma, or they fool or crazy. They're not. They just look on something differently. And that is something that I had to relearn. Because sometimes you might think that way, sometimes they think that way. And it's something that you have to accept. And I think for those that are picking that up with their families and stuff like that, young families I know, they're finding out that, not because I said, make sure to go through that door, that they understand it that way, and they went through the other door. And you can't eat their head off because of that. And this is something that we have to relearn. But I'm also saying that because these kids will become adults. I know that Inclusion Cayman doesn't do a lot of work now with getting young adults, and I mean from 18 up around the school into jobs, but they also have partner with different companies to say, hey, this is a special needs kids. I think they're focused to like to do this or that, and they're put now to give them a job, right? But I think the companies need to understand and embrace to say, well, we don't want that child or that person to be ignored. You might want a family as well, and why not? So we need to work on that more. We need to put more focus on that more. We need to work with wellness. We need to work with the schools. We need to have these special programs from childhood through teenage, through adult, and we have to find special places for this. I know recently they've opened up a couple of months ago the Ponciana.
Well,
I know that's a big thing over the years.
I wanted to ask you about that because I've seen on some social media chat groups the debate that has been a debate that started going on about the fact that is designed for adults only. And one person compared the prison system with that. You don't take juvenile offenders and mix them with hardcore criminals. Treatment for mental health illnesses for adults and for younger children completely different as well. So do you have a position in relation to the need for a facility for younger children, similar to what we have had now, with the Ponciana?
And that also has to also be at the detention center as well. I know there's incidents that been there that I know of through talking to some of my colleagues and friends and family, which I'm kind of a part of a social group, private group that help give support and some talking and learning and stuff with our children, and I call them my children because it doesn't matter if he's 5 years old, like 25, 30 years old, they're all us. It's a learning process, but we really need to move quickly on this. We need to focus more on this. We need to put more emphasis on this in the next government, and it's a growing problem. We see the strain that teenagers are put on. We've seen the many passing of those that is hurting themselves just recently. And I want to, first of all, since we talked, I want to extend my deepest condolences from Bud and myself and a part of it, the young man who passed away last week in East End. And deepest condolences to you and your family, and to the many others that go through these difficulties with our young ones. But it definitely need to be more emphasis on that. It need to be more programs for early detection and in schools as well as in a work environment. And I know some businesses have embraced that. Some businesses have been part of that to find a particular role for that person in their particular job and their particular business. Another thing I want to talk about is that I also I also know that Caribbean Haven also need to be expanded. They got 8 rooms down there. 8 rooms, 25 years. And I've talked to them over time. And they say, well, the problem is we got a lot of expansion. We got a lot of land where we could expand this. It's every year. Yep, we don't have the budget for this. And you see the problem it brings. So even those that are struggling with drug abuse, that also have condition, that place is an example where also need to have a separate unit away from the hardcore drug individuals, because they might be an addiction they got, but they might not have a sort of autism or ADHD level on a particular spectrum. So let's look at that, just like Northward, where these are different facilities, and where we work with these individuals to bring them back in society. But we have to embrace that, right? We got to get rid of this stigma and embrace them, because they are beautiful people. They see things in a different way. As a matter of fact, some of them are great artists, great singers, and things that they come up with in their mind. It'll blow away once you kind of know the people and know who they are and families. And that's just not here, but this is
it's global.
It's a global thing.
Okay,
but there's many research on it, so that's something I wanted to that I would like to, when I'm elected, that I would like to work with, with the and that's part of how to do with education, wellness, sport as well. Because a lot of people that's under the spectrum is from my world of cycling. There's a lot of those guys are like that, and they're brilliant.
Okay. Before we started the show, you were talking to me about your experiences on the campaign trail, and the fact that you found so many voters were They were pleased to see fresh faces, as far as candidates were concerned. And at the same time, some persons have expressed their disdain at the whole political process. And as a result, we see, voter apathy somewhat, appearing as well.
Yeah.
How do you, what do you say, and how do you address those persons that show a reluctance to be involved in the process?
I think Craig touched on it a little earlier on, and I can speak from my own personal experience. Growing up, I registered to vote from the first day I was eligible, and I voted in every election. Was I politically involved and informed? Probably not. I mean, even when my father, and he did one stint in 1984, was I active? I would have been 26 years old. I probably wasn't as active as I should have been. Our young people today, I think, are more involved for different reasons, and I won't get into that. I think the young people are more involved. Of say the 26-year-old, I wouldn't say the 18. And for those people who are, and yes, I've run into people who say, boy, I don't know if I'm going to vote this time. It ain't worth it. I might go out and vote for the referendum, but I don't see anybody that are going to, I would say to them, regardless of what you think about the candidates that you have to choose from, myself included, I think you have to get out and vote. It is the system that you have. It is a system that you have to determine your leadership and to determine the future of how your country, your business, if you want, is run. And to say I'm not going to vote really says you're disinterested in your country. I know that plenty of people are frustrated, but it is an option for you to make an impact, and that is the path and the structure you have, and so you should take advantage of it. Don't get anything where you're going to complain about it, right? And then when the day comes, well, I can't bother with it. No, stand and be counted.
Because the way the numbers are now, one vote could make a difference.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. So I would say it is a vehicle by which your government has provided you with influence over how it is, so you must use it, and advocate for change.
Okay, with that, we're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with Orrett Conner.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. For those of you just joining us, I'll remind you that we have two members of the Cayman Islands National Party who are candidates in the upcoming April 30th general election. They are Mr. Bud Johnson, seeking to represent the constituency of Georgetown East, and Mr. Craig Merren, seeking to represent the constituency of Georgetown West. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Osir. And before we go on, and I know you have a question there that you want to put to us. Before we go, I'd like to take the opportunity, because I know some of you are going to finally get out of your traffic in the cars and get to work, and you might miss. Just want to remind people of our meetings upcoming. I've checked with my brand manager to make sure I don't miss any. Tonight, myself and Gary Ruddy will be having a public meeting at the South Sound Community Center. That's 5:30 to 7:30. And on the 24th, I will be having the only public meeting that I'm having on my own. The 24th, I think it's 7 o'clock, and it'll be at Palm Gardens. That's on the Linford Pearson, right by the Randyke Gardens Road.
Okay.
On Rennie Barnes section. That's the 24th. And then on the 28th, we'll have our last full National Party rally. And that's it. And Craig, if you want to touch on one too.
Yeah, but I'll be having my right after Easter would be the my Georgetown West constituency meeting in Winslow Park, in the park. Start at 7. We have a lot of stuff going on that day. We got some bouncing castles, some popcorn, snow cones, So this is going to be my one of my last meetings. And it's where I started. It's where I live. It's the people I know and love. So hoping to see you all out there. It's a holiday as well. The kids will be out of school. So we can spend a good few hours leading up to the last days of making a decision for your kids and the future generation for this country and in the next 15 days. So I'll be glad to see you out there on the 30th in Winslow Park, in the park.
Okay, so
7 p.m.
This person has, on several occasions when we've had candidates in the studio, posed this question. And I suspect that this probably will have a bearing, the responses that he gets and, satisfaction or dissatisfaction will determine, who he votes for, quite possibly who the person votes for. Because they've said it. Says, animal protection. Please ask the candidates, given the alarming rate of animal abuse and neglect in our society, dogs and large farm animals tied up 24/7, exposed to the weather without adequate protection from sun or rain, what concrete steps will you take to strengthen animal protection laws and ensure proper enforcement? Will you support increased funding for animal welfare organizations and stricter penalties for those who abuse the animals? A quote from the 14th Dalai Lama: the greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its people and animals are treated.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I see it a lot. I mean, every day I drive Fairbanks and through the Georgetown East area, and you see instances of animals, especially when you're campaigning, being tied up and left there, whether it's dogs or cows. And I think it is something that we need to look at. I think the quote on the end there is an important one. My wife and my sister often say to me, "Bud, they quote the same thing." He said, basically, a nation is judged by how it treats its elderly and its needy, and by extension, not by extension, but on its animals. And I think it's something that we need to take a look at. I'm not at this point able to say that yes, it is something that I understand, but I know that it has been raised at the party level, and there was a work stream working on it. Where it is, I don't know, but I know it's something that is on our radar to look at.
Yeah, and I'm very much with that. Orrett, we know that a lot of families today got young dogs and animals, but the way that we see, just last year during the bad rain, I saw these cows in West Bay. It just heartbreaking to see the water up to the thing, man, and that tore me apart. I definitely need enforcing. There need to be stricter penalties for those that are treating their animals like that. It needs to be, if they are, they need to be perhaps taken away from those individuals and placed perhaps somewhere down by the agriculture department. I don't know how all that system works, but it certainly is an interest to me. My sister Marilyn, as what I know, is a big animal lover, and she supports that. That's one of the things she told me that she wants me to drive once I get into as an MP, and I will. We certainly need to have an animal protection law. I've had 2 dogs in the past, about 30 years ago, that somebody left some food in the yard and killed him. And that was so damaging, hurting to me, bothered me for a long time, that I actually got a toxicology report on that, and it was paraquat that actually killed it.
Yeah, yeah. I think, but I think to what we can't miss in that point, in the quote, and I don't believe every medication has a side effect, and what we can't miss in that is nation is judged by how it treats its elderly and its animals, but they're needed too. I've been, and I think, I've walked Georgetown East, and I've walked some of the more needy areas of Georgetown East, and I've met personally people that have been retired early, insufficient pension, still paying a mortgage, and unable to afford health insurance, right? So I mean, is this one of those people who has an animal that they now can't afford to take care of? I think I got to look at the root cause of what the animal abuse is from, right? And if it's because of the needs of our people, that the financial bind they're in, that they can't feed the cows or whatever anymore, I think you address those first. I mean, you've got to prioritize it, and your people got to come first. And I'm not saying that is the case. I know some of the cases where it's not. It's just that people are careless with their dogs and got a dog and don't want to put the work in to maintain it. Yeah. But I think to that quote, there's another side of it that as a politician who's, I'm never going to be a politician, as a candidate who's offered myself to serve the people, right? Those are the first things you take care of, your people. And the condition that some of our people are in right now, in some of the areas that I've walked, that they got to be given priority. I just being honest about it. I mean, and Craig has seen it as well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to look after them too. Just looking at my notes here, I think I said the 30th, but my last meeting with Georgetown West District, Georgetown West constituency will be on the 23rd of April. Wednesday.
Yeah.
So sorry about
can't do any campaigning on the 30th.
In the park. and Windsor Park. No, we need to look at that.
So my brand manager didn't catch that.
No, shame on you fired. But I want to say before we leave, I know we got Easter coming up. We're a God-fearing nation, and we've come a long way. Our people have struggled for many years. We've become very prosperous over the last many years, and that Cayman could do better. We know better, and we want to do better. And I want to tell the nation today that on the 30th will be a very, very important day, even though if you undecided or you don't want to. I want you to stop and think and look at your children, look at your grandchildren or your grandchildren to come, and ask yourselves where you want them to be in the next 25 years, right? Because that one vote will make a difference for them, for the country. Cayman Islands is what we have. This is us. This is home for us. It's a small place. It's a beautiful place. We care and love one another. Think about what Jesus would do. And this is a year that we celebrate Easter, that he died for us and we believe in us. And I know many Caymanians do. Let's think about that. And for the upcoming Easter, let's embrace one another, regardless who we are, where we're from, that we live here, that's what Jesus would want. For those that believe, and I believe, for the sake of this country, your children and the future generation.
Okay, we're going to go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, we're going to have a short segment. We want to give the candidates, Mr. Bud Johnson and Mr. Craig Merren, an opportunity for some closing comments. And I have another question from one of our listeners in relation to the possibility or their views on expanding our parliament. Not necessarily in terms of the number of elected members, but there are other mechanisms that we could look at as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority. In the lead up to the April 30th general election, Radio Cayman will continue its live in-studio debates tonight. It will feature Georgetown East and West candidates. It's all starting at 7 p.m., so make sure to keep it locked. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has invited U.S. President Donald Trump to visit his country ahead of any deal with Russia to end the war. The CBS 60-minute interview was recorded before a Russian missile hit the city of Sumy, killing 34 people and injuring 117 others. Russia says it only strikes military and military-related targets, while President Trump has said he was told it was a mistake without specifying who told him. Germany's chancellor-in-waiting has accused Russia of a war crime. And Donald Trump says Chinese-made smartphones and other electronics will not be exempt from tariffs, adding they are simply moving into a different levy bucket. European stock markets bounced up this morning after Friday's official announcement that some of these projects would escape tariffs of up to 145%. China has called on Donald Trump to, quote, completely cancel his tariffs regime and return to the, quote, right path of mutual respect. However, U.S. officials said on Sunday that products would be subject to a semiconductor tariff instead. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
The proceeding was a
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Okay, well, this is interesting. So we have a question in relation to an expanded parliament in the form of maybe bicameral parliament, bicameral legislature. We see it in some of the overseas territories. For instance, Bermuda has a bicameral legislature or parliament. In the U.S., you have a Senate and you have a House of Representatives, but they're both elected bodies. In the U.K., you have the House of Lords, you have the House of Commons. House of Lords, again, that's more by peerage than anything else. That's by peerage. But we see 58 candidates. Only 19 can be elected. Many persons would say that there's a wealth of knowledge, experience, and ability spread across those 58 candidates. But only 19 will get an opportunity to officially represent their constituency. All of that additional talent, unless you as individuals decide, I wasn't elected, but I'm going to still be involved in my community. And you can do that, but it's limited to what you could do as well. Do you have any views in terms of us changing our system? We continue to hear more and more persons talk about that. And I'll add something else to the mix. One of our, another listener wrote in and said, what about national vote? It would solve my issue. That way I can vote for who I think is best for our islands. Again, we see some jurisdictions have local votes, constituency votes, and then they have at large, as well. Any views?
I'll take the first one. First things first. In short, I hadn't thought about House of Representatives, if you want, two different houses, but now that you've said it, OC, our Constitution does say that the government shall, not the government may, not the government should, it shall form, I think it's called district councils.
Right, yeah. Create a lot to...
right, because the reality is that with the work that, whether you're an MP or whether you're a minister, the work you have to do, you don't have the time to do it. Wouldn't this be an opportunity to begin where you say, the heads of the district councils should be potentially a candidate who would run and has that, and bring them, because they should be the ones that your constituents are going to and say, these are my issues, this is what I'd see, or if they have, go to them. They'd be on the ground there. They obviously, if we have put ourselves forward as candidates, we have an interest in that, and maybe it's a way to begin that, because it's not going to, you try to put something. It might be a good starting point for it. That your district council people are former candidates. I mean, but
because at the end of the day, they won't be taking any legislative power away from the parliament, but they have an opportunity to review legislation, to have their input, and the elected government at the end of the day will have the final say.
We can, and I say it positively, we the elected government can benefit greatly from their input. You know, if we are truly an inclusive government, you take that in and they can have their input. It might be the decision making, but they can influence our views on it and still contribute.
Yep. It's a good topic. I go on what Bud say. I think it's something that we should examine, and it's an interest of mine. But I do agree with Bud. We could probably start that off on the district council levels as the foundation, and then look and see how we could do the upper and lower house sort of thing, like other countries, and advance ourselves. There's a lot of advancement that need to be done in this country, and for one, I like the national elections. I don't know how we would do that.
How you get
I know
to that point
that it's there's various ways. I've had some discussions with different individuals and how it could be done and stuff. But it's something that certainly need to be examined.
Well, see, on that point, and I keep preaching to my sons and. Is that a man become wise when he acknowledges what he doesn't know and seeks counsel. So I'm going to seek counsel from you here. on our Constitution. You never thought you'd be on the question side.
Right, yes. She's on the other foot now.
Am I correct in my understanding that in order to do any changes to the Constitution, we would require 66% of the registered voters to vote in favor of?
If the Constitution makes a distinction between people-initiated referendum, and it specifically states that any changes to the Constitution that would result in the Cayman Islands becoming independent must be done through a referendum.
Okay.
All right, so that must be done. People-initiated referendum, you have to get 25% of the registered voters to sign a petition.
Mm-hmm. That's like what the CPR has done.
Yes. Yeah. And, once you get that 25%, then it forces the cabinet and the legislature then to create a question in relation to and the questions that referendum questions are extremely important. There are organizations, especially in the UK, because they do so much of this. Switzerland does a lot of referendums as well, but the UK has so much legislation that because depending on how you word a question, that will determine the results that you get. And they look at the questions and see whether or not it's balanced, whether or not it's fair, whether or not it is biased in one way or the other. But people-initiated referendum, that is a very, very powerful tool that the people have. That we have, if it is used, properly.
So suppose I was to start a process of garnering signatures to change either the national vote or the single-member constituencies, and let's say I was to get 25% of the voters to sign up on that, and the government were to put forward a referendum question. What percentage of the register? What is it? It's not just a simple first past the post, right?
I think it's 50% plus one.
Even for that, but where do I get the 66% of registered voters?
Let me
Well, you don't need to. You can come back another time.
That's another
but
show.
But I put it out there. Because it is a question that we get. I'm not going to vote because it's one single member constituency. Don't worry. I want to vote for 18 people, or I want to get the vote. You know, and the reality is, I've always backed. I said, well, you know, you need 66% of the registered voters to get it, and you're never gonna. You don't get them out to vote on a good day, much less vote in the same way. So it might be something for a future show.
Yeah, and what you may want to inquire from that individual also is, do you have a view then on one person, one vote? Because some persons have a tendency to equate single-member constituencies with one person, one vote. The concept internationally,
I
concept of a one person, one vote, because you can have your multi-member constituencies. You can still have your 5 votes, 5 persons to vote for, to choose from in Georgetown, but you only get one vote. Right?
So what you're saying is, say Georgetown is 4, North, Central.
But it wouldn't be broken up. Then it would just be Georgetown.
It would,
yes.
Yeah, like how it was before.
Oh, like how it was before.
Yeah. But one person, one vote. Because see, that is what was missing, you know, from the formula that we had. You had East End and North Side. People in East End could only vote for one individual. Persons in Northside could only vote for one. West Bay could be 4. Bordentown at one point in time was 3, then increased to 4. Georgetown was increased even more because other districts did, when we were moving to the single member constituency thing, they didn't want that increase. They say, you know, you want it, put it in, you know, Georgetown, put the additional, you know, seats there as well. You know, Cayman Brac now has a carve out in our constitution that says they must return 2 members. I equate it to $1. Should the dollar in East End be worth less than $1 in Georgetown? Should the dollar in North Side be less than the dollar in West Bay? You know, you have to have that equality.
But on the other hand, the equality also has to come. And it right now it is not there. It is highly unequal to the bigger constituencies on an individual basis than to the smaller ones like East End, North Side, and thing. Because, you know, they've got 500 voters, right? So you got a candidate who got 500 voters to select him. I got 1,500, right? So Craig, for example, if he was a Georgetown East voter, right? He goes to the polls to vote. He's competing against 1,500 other people, right? As far as who he wants, whereas the people in the smaller constituencies, you know,
they can get voted in with less.
So really, those people have a significant advantage over the rest of us in who gets chosen in the government. So it is. I understand the cultural reasons why they did the carve out for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, but really, if you're thinking, anytime you bring up the equality issue, you got to go back to Craig, you're in Georgetown West, you got 500 people. I'm in Georgetown East, I got 1,500, right? His job to get elected is a whole lot easier. But you got to take the candidate perspective out of it and look at your constituents have much more power over forming the government than my constituents.
Right. Okay, quick wrap up. We give both of you an opportunity for some closing comments and reminders to your voters out there as well.
Yep. Well, once again, Craig Merren here from the Georgetown West constituency, number 3 on your ballot. In 15 days, I want you to give my full support to me as well as the rest of the candidates that sits on my team, Cayman Islands National Party. But me, make sure you take that day to be one of the most important things that you do on that day for your kids, your family, and wake up on a beautiful May the 1st with the new Cayman Islands National Party government, and of course me as your MP representative on the day. I want to thank everyone who have welcomed me and continue to welcome me into their homes to discuss their personal issues, discuss the national issues, district issues, and many other factors that's affecting them. It's been I'm still continuing to going door to door and meeting with different individuals, and it's been a blessing to knowing some many new faces. I know many people know me, but knowing the people that have that have embraced me, that have called, that have messaged me, I want to thank you from the very bottom of my heart. I want to, for those that I might not see as we lead into the Easter weekend, I want to wish you and your family a very blessed Easter, and hoping to see you on the trail. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
Osi, first of all, thank you for having us in. I have thoroughly enjoyed the discussion this morning, and you have triggered some thought points that we could have talked about for another half an hour.
Yes,
I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. I would say to the listening audience, thank you for taking your time this morning to listen to us. I would also encourage, regardless of what your opinion is about whether you're going to vote this year or not, whether you're frustrated, please exercise your democratic right. It is a vehicle by which the government gives you the ability to make changes to who governs. Go out and vote. And I would encourage you on the 30th of April to go out and vote for the Cayman Islands National Party, and particularly in Georgetown East. Vote better, vote bud. Thank you all. God bless you.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the phone lines will be open. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also, 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number where we can only accommodate one caller at a time, 925-3261. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
The preceding was a paid political broadcast.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949 2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
For the record, with Orrett Conner.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I want to thank the two Cayman Islands National Party candidates, Mr. Craig Merren and Mr. Bud Johnson, for spending some time with us. I think it was time well spent as well. I believe we do have a caller, so why don't we go to the phone lines and hear from the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning, OC.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah. Your two candidates sounded interesting today.
Yes.
They did well.
They're getting more and more seasoned, on the campaign trail. Yep.
OC, I did some little inquiries concerning the judiciary review. I think that concerning the removal of the members from the Conservation Board. And I don't think that these two gentlemen, one came here, I think working at the submarine thing, somebody gave him a little job out there, and the other running around here watching birds or something like that.
Mm.
I don't think that's any type of nation building that they did. And they're going to oppose a gentleman like Mr. Art McLean, nation builder. Mr. Gilbert McLean went from even educating a lot of our people, elder people, Dr. Maxfield, and Mr. Ezard Miller. They think that they're more qualified than those outstanding Caymanians to make a decision about something within the environment or a development within the island. The island that their fathers and forefathers before them built and made decision what should be built and where it should be built. And if we had followed them or us back, we would not be in the mess, especially on the seven and the beach areas that we're in now.
Okay.
So it sounds like we're the better ones to make the more sound decisions than these people that just jump off the plane and come here. So I really can't wrap my head around the audacity of these individuals who think that they can make a better sound decision for this island more than us that created the island. Because we'll see, if we didn't do what we did and our ancestors before us didn't do, our island would be just like all the other places, No, this wouldn't be. We went and from an island that time forgot to an island that where everybody want to be. So OC, and it's plain to see 130 different nationality on a dot in the Northwest Caribbean, where a lot of the people that on their way from Timbuktu or wherever they're coming from believe that when they get England, they would take a ferry and go to the island. They didn't even know exactly where they were coming,
Mm-hmm.
But they knew that it's a good place. The people down there are friendly. The dollars are strong. That's all they knew about us. But yet then they gonna come, right? And then want to change it from the way they found it, from what attract them to come in here in the first place. No. We can't put up with that, OC. We cannot put up with that. We need a Jim Borden mentality. Okay? I don't know if we can still get that back, but we need that. And mess with us, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm. But and nothing wrong with that. What we have to recognize, though, is that since we are a country of laws, right, that everyone has the right to exercise their lawful right, the lawful right that they have, and that is why the judicial review process is there for anyone to question procedures that a government follows, whether or not those procedures are fair, whether or not they're lawful. I'm not a lawyer, so I won't pretend to know all of them. But what we have in place is we have a mechanism that allows them to challenge it. At the end of the day, the courts will adjudicate on it and make a decision. What we are extremely grateful for and fortunate to have in the Cayman Islands, unlike some jurisdictions where you have judges that run for elected office, so that means that they have a political ambition to remain in that position, or judges that are appointed by politicians who then have some ideological or may have some ideological position as far as political views go. We're fortunate not to have that in the Cayman Islands. So we expect that decisions that are rendered by our justices are based on laws and facts as opposed to any other thing. So at the end of the day, once I believe permission has already been given for the judicial review. Once that takes place, then the other options are there as far as taking any appeal all the way up to the Privy Council. So we're fortunate that we have that. So while we may have our views in terms of who should and shouldn't be on the National Conservation Council, it will be resolved at the end of the day. And we will have answers, and the government will then have answers in terms of how they should go about the process.
No jumping up and hullabaloo. And when they were appointed to the board, we didn't have no judicial review then. Huh?
Yeah, but we could have. Someone could have challenged that if they felt.
They're not going to they're just discriminating, and they just think that they should be the one. They think that they should be the one. That's all.
That could be. That could be the case.
Nothing to do with any expertise that they're bringing to the board. They just think that they should be the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Mm-hmm. But
and in my opinion, they should not be the one. We should be the one who decides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're the better scientists to make decisions to decide. We've done it all along. We brought it from the island at time for God. Nobody knew about us until where we are now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They come in here and enjoying the festivities now, and then they're going to want to come and tell us that been here from time of creation, no see that can happen. We need to stop.
But don't forget
here and disrespecting us.
Yeah, but don't forget now somebody put them on the board, Someone put them on the board.
And that same part, and the same mechanism that put them on the board, the same council is the same one that take them off. They're the same one that take them off. Took them off. The same one that put them on. Right? Don't they have the rights to amend something that they did, or reappoint someone different from the people that are on? They have that right to do that. Who put them on in the first place?
No, you have the right to do it, but you have to do it in, it has to be done in a lawful fashion, in a proper fashion. I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't. Wait.
You with them,
No. I'm not saying that it wasn't, What I'm saying is someone has chosen to challenge it, and the courts will decide.
Okay. All right. Well, for them to get back on, we're going to have to appoint them to go back on, and we're not appointing them. So that is that.
Not necessarily. If the judicial review process is successful. Well, I like I said, I'm not a lawyer. Hopefully, a lawyer is listening in and they can advise. If the judicial review is successful, what happens from there? Do we go back to the status quo, or then does the government then have to redo the whole process? I don't know.
So, can the judiciary then reappoint them?
No, I don't think that they can.
Because they don't got no power to.
No, I don't think.
Nobody.
But they could. Whether or not the question is, can they say that the status quo remain the same because of a flawed process? You got me?
Process.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, the courts are good.
And there was taken off.
Right, and someone is challenging the way that they were taken off, and why?
No. Not why. They're upset that they were taken off. None about know how they were taken off or why.
Well,
they just think that they should not be taken off.
But if they used that argument, for judicial review, I don't believe that it would have gotten to the stage that it has gotten to. You can't just bring a judicial review case because you feel of what you feel. It has to be more. It has to be factual.
Well, I don't see where the individuals that bring it is any more qualified than the people that.
I'm not questioning that at all. Well, not questioning that. Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Okay, folks.
I have rights to do that because I've been here from 1796. I can do that. Okay. All right.
Okay, folks. We're going to take care. We're going to take a commercial break. I believe when we return, we have a caller on WhatsApp. We'll take that caller. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Cruise lines control how passengers spend their money, from shopping on board to taking the lion's share of pre-booked tours. That means less business for Cayman's tour operators and retailers. A pair won't change that. Instead, it just gives cruise corporations a bigger stake in Cayman's tourism industry. If we want a stronger economy, we need better deals for Caymanians, not more power for cruise lines. Vote no on April 30th.
Cayman's economy should serve Caymanians first. Save our Cayman. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
On something. You think if we keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, anything can change? No, brother. Cayman needs change. We deserve better. And I say no more. Caymanians are not for sale. Real change comes from hard work and investing in our people. And the time for change is now. And I will deliver the change we need. Ranking is the one for we. Give him the vote and you will see.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Building a cruise pier means years of construction, traffic congestion, business closures, and lost jobs. And for what? A project that mainly benefits the cruise lines? Local businesses, tour operators, and family-run shops will feel the impact long before any promised gains materialize. Why should Cayman take on the risk while cruise companies take the reward? Vote no on April 30th.
Caymanians deserve better. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
For the Record with Orrett Conner.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers, one regular, one WhatsApp. Before we go to the WhatsApp caller, this person has written and said, kudos to the caller. That's exactly what is happening. These foreigners come in here and try to demand their place in the community. Watch the Cayman kind. Don't take us down the wrong road. And they are the first to jump to the courts with a lawsuit. And just for clarity, I have one description, not mine, but I have researched it. Judicial review is a type of court proceeding in which a judge reviews the lawfulness of a decision or action made by a public body. In other words, judicial reviews are a challenge to the way in which a decision has been made rather than the rights and wrongs of the conclusion reached. With that, we go to our WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I had a couple of things I wanted to say that maybe you can shed some light on in regards to the pension withdrawal reduction payment that you're allowed to get, the $50,000 from your pension to pay down on your mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did the $50,000 reduction payment, right? So, but what I come to find out now is that what the lady is telling me, I asked her, I went back, I heard you could do a second 50, but she said no. So I asked her about, if a person passes away and they haven't paid back the full $50,000 and they leave their house for their child or their children or whoever,
mm-hmm.
What happens then? She said, oh, well, whoever you leave the house to, it has to continue paying until the $50,000 repaid. So I said, but why would that be like that? She said, because it's a debt. And I said, how is it a debt? If you got $150,000 from me and I take out 50 and you say, okay, well, we want you to put back to try and pay it back so you have money when you retire. I can understand that. But if that person passed away, that whatever liability or whatever, I don't know if you want to call it liability, but because it was their money to begin with, you know?
Okay.
Why would that pass down then to their children? And if the children have to repay that, if the person passed away, whose pension is that going to? Who's getting that money? You know what I'm saying?
Question. When you did the withdrawal, was there an agreement that you had to sign?
Yes, a lot of people had to sign.
Okay. And did you look at what the terms were?
I looked at the terms there, but I didn't realize that was part of it.
Okay.
That was a stipulation in it.
Yeah.
I know about the part with them putting the lien on the property. Okay. So that you kind of forced to be paying while you're living, because they told me, when you reach 65, then the debt is done. You don't have to continue paying. But I'm asking, how is it a debt? If they telling me they got $100,000 or $150,000 for me, holding for me, that's mine, and I say, okay, well, let me get 50 to pay down on the mortgage. If it's my money, how is it a debt? I don't understand that.
Yeah, good question. Good question.
I understand the part of them saying, okay, well, we want you to put some back or try to pay it back so that when you retire, you'll have, your full pension money or whatever. I understand that part. But if you giving me what you telling me is mine, you give me a portion of what you say is mine, how is that a debt? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for it because I'm not versed in that.
Okay. But what I would like, if it's possible for you to do, she said to me, oh, well, this is not our rule. This rule comes from the Department of Labor and Pension. They created this rule, right? And I'm saying, what? I said, no, man, I don't believe that, man. I said, this is, you guys make this up. I know when they first came up with the idea to draft the bill, it had to go to the pension companies for their input into it, right? So what I'm saying now, if it's possible for you, if you could do something for me, if you could have a representative from the Department of Labor and Pension and a representative from Silver Thatch Pension on the show and ask this question, because I don't think it's right that this thing would pass down to the person's children.
Right. Well, my suggestion is that you want to take a second look at the agreement that you sign and see what is in there and whether or not that those provisions are in there as well. That's your first step, because if you sign something, unless you have signed it under duress, then the assumption is that you understood what you signed.
Okay, fair enough, no problem.
Yeah,
but that don't make it right either.
I agree. I agree. Thank you very much, caller. You want to take the break, Miss Susan? Yeah, we're going to take a commercial break. We do have another caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Cayman's cruise industry can thrive without a peer. Instead of handing cruise lines more power, we should focus on better visitor experiences, fairer deals for local businesses, and smarter tourism investments. Many destinations are standing up for their local economies. So can we. Let's strengthen our cruise industry without giving up control. Vote no on April 30th.
Let's invest in what works. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Let me ask on something. You think if we keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, anything gonna change? No, brother. Cayman needs change. We deserve better. And I say no more. Caymanians are not for sale. Real change comes from hard work and investing in our people. And the time for change is now. And I will deliver the change we need. Ranking needs the one for we. Give him the votes and you will see.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its Cayman BRAC customers of a planned service interruption on the south side of the island. The interruption will take place on Wednesday, the 16th of April from midnight until 4 a.m. and will impact Southside Road West, Gerard Smith Avenue, including all side roads, a portion of Cross Road between the junction of Gerard Smith Avenue and the Water Authority's West End Waterworks. This interruption will take place to facilitate distribution system tests. The motoring public is asked to be cautious while driving in the area, as our crew will be actively working on the road during this time. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause and appreciates the public's understanding.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
Cayman is being asked to approve a cruise berthing facility, but key details remain unclear. Where will it go? What is the actual cost? How will it impact local businesses and jobs? What we do know is that cruise corporations already keep 70% of passenger spending, and a pier won't change that. Before we commit to something this big, we need more data. Vote no on April 30th.
Cayman's economy should work for Caymanians, not cruise corporations. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
For the Record with Orrett Conner.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller. We're going to make that the last caller because I have some answers to our caller in relation to the judicial review process, and I think this adds, much more clarity to the whole issue. Like I said, I am not a lawyer, so I don't know much about it, but there is an organization. It's called Public Law Project, a guide series, an introduction to judicial review, and there is a section on there that talks about what can the courts do as well. So I want to cover that. We're going to take our last caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Conner.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I wanted to quickly say something about the gentleman that called about the pensions. I don't know about his situation or anything like that, but I would like to say is that I've heard a number of people, giving feedback that they oftentimes do not understand some of what they read, and some of those documents that are being signed are lengthy, and the wording is kind of technical and that sort of thing. And so what I've encouraged people to do, and I want to just say it publicly, is to ask questions, and for the pension even the public service pension board and the private pensions, is to take time and explain to people what they're signing so they can make sure that they understand in layman terms what they're signing, because people may read it, but they grasp a bit of things here and there, but they still don't completely understand everything they're signing, and they're so anxious to get through the situations that they're in, or if they're applying for money or whatever, that they just kind of go through that process. So we need to have the staff members break things down and explain things to the clientele. The other thing I wanted to touch on quickly, and I wanted to send sentiments and condolences to the family that just had a young person lost this weekend. I know the family personally, but not the young person. And I wanted to take this time that we have a parliamentary office pretty much in each district. And so we need to try to have some sort. I don't know what the solution is, but never before in the history of the Cayman Islands have we seen so many persons taking their own lives, and especially younger persons. There's got to be something that's going on that we're missing. I take a lot of time to scroll online and read a lot of the comments that young people make, especially on Instagram, and there are many, and I hear a lot of feedback personally out and about, and there are a lot of young people. Cayman has nothing to offer young people to do. There's all of the entertainment and extracurricular places have basically closed down. Some are turning to drugs. You would be surprised at the number of young people up to age 35 and between 18 and age 35 that are hooked on hardcore drugs in each district. And also I realize a lot of young people, I'm not saying that this is the case with this person or anyone that may have taken their life, but I've also heard a lot of young people, especially the boys, the males, are struggling with their sexuality, and how Cayman is still in a certain mindset about that, and I think we need to have we have discussions, but I think we need to have more meaningful discussions so we can let our young people know that they are accepted. They need to have safe places to go. They need to have confidential places to go, or someone to go to, because nothing is really confidential these days with social media and technology. And also Cayman is such a small society that it's still not confidential. So we need to start thinking about these things seriously, and everyone will say what they have to say on social media or in conversations along the way, but the fact remains is it could happen to in any family at any day. I know some of these families would have never thought that this would happen in their family, and it's not about status or stature either. It's just what people are struggling with, and we need to everyone needs to stop and take a few minutes and really think about, what if this happened in my family? How can I recognize the signs? How can I try to be open-minded so that someone can come to me? Because this is really heartbreaking. I've almost lost count now of how many people have committed suicide in the last 3 years. And it's an astronomical number for the size of Cayman and Caymanians too. So that is what I wanted to throw out there. We need to try and figure out how we can have placements in each district where our young people can go. The phone numbers and the calling in is fine for that to be advertised. That's one avenue. But a lot of these people would like to have someone or somewhere where they can go to. There's nothing like actually going and sitting down and speaking to someone confidentially.
And you're saying that is not available in Cayman now?
I'm not saying it's not available. I'm just saying it should be more available in easier reach, especially in our outer districts and so forth. I know a lot of the clinics I know, I think there was one clinic, I can't remember which one, that had a mental health person that visited there occasionally. But our public, our government, health clinic should have someone there or someone that rotates around and that sort of thing. Is really what I'm saying. So it's easily accessible. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Very, very insightful. I would just add to that there are, other civil society out there and several organizations that cater to these issues as well. I just want to say that. So, folks, before we close off, the whole concept of judicial review, and this site talks about the fact that it is not inexpensive either. It can be extremely expensive. As a matter of fact, I believe that starting with the one here in the Cayman Islands, that we have seen some King Council involved as well. So, what can the courts do? When you bring proceedings for judicial review, you are asking the court to grant you one or more orders. These are known as remedies. There are a limited number of remedies that the court can give in judicial review cases. They are: 1, quashing an order. This is an order which overturns or undoes the decision being challenged so that it has no legal effect. This is the most common outcome of successful judicial review. Quashing the order, making it null and void. There's also something called a prohibiting order. A prohibiting order stops a public body from taking an unlawful decision or action that it has not yet taken. There is also a mandatory order. The court can direct a public body to take an active step, example, to take a new decision within a specific period of time. This type of order is comparatively rare. And then there's a declaration. This is an order stating clearly and concisely what the law is. Where this is disputed, often judges prefer not to do this because they say the law is adequately set out in their written judgments, so a declaration is not necessary. Then we have something called a declaration of incompatibility. This is a special type of declaration that a particular provision of an act of Parliament contravenes the Human Rights Act. It is not binding on Parliament, but is an invitation to members of Parliament to change the law so that it complies with the Human Rights Act. And then, of course, damages they can award. The court can order damages only if some other form of legal remedy is also being sought. There are 3 circumstances in which damages may be ordered where there's a right to damages under private law. I won't go into all of that, but the remedies that the courts have, what they can do, they can issue a prohibiting order, they can make a mandatory order, they can make a declaration. There can be a declaration of incompatibility, with the Human Rights Act or, with the Constitution, as well in our case. So I hope and I trust that helps. But if for some reason you want to familiarize yourself with it, just Google, getting to the top of this document, scrolling back up, Google Public Law Project and Introduction to Judicial Review. Because while this whole issue is an emotive issue, it brings out our national pride and our national views as well. While it may be all of that, there is the legal aspect of it as well. And while we may want to get emotional about it, we also need to understand the process. Because if you don't understand the process, then when a decision is rendered, you're just as lost as you were before it was rendered, which means that you end up then not fully understanding what the whole process was all about. You never know. Maybe one of these days you may find yourself in that position where a governmental decision is something that affects you and you feel that it wasn't done lawfully as well. With that, folks, I want to thank everyone. Thank the members of the Cayman Islands National Party who were in here this morning. That was a paid segment. I want to thank all of those persons who called in as well, those who sent their WhatsApp messages. I want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are. I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Chalo this afternoon for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
I hope you're ready for change, cause I know I am. Cayman ranking. Ah yeah. Foot. Born and raised Cayman strong. Northward roots where I belong. Cayman ranking is the way to vote. Ranking. Cayman ranking. We need. Ranking. Cayman ranking. We need. Ranking is the medicine that Cayman needs right now. That Cayman needs right now. Ranking. Cayman ranking. Ranking. The future of Georgetown West is in your hands. The time for change is now.
Big decisions need real data. Before we vote on April 30th, we deserve to know the full picture.
A cruise pair would require dredging large areas of seabed, placing our marine life, coral reefs, and water quality at risk. While Cayman would carry the environmental and economic burden, the cruise lines stand to benefit the most. They already take up to 70% of cruise passenger spending through onboard shops and exclusive partnerships. Is it worth risking what makes Cayman special so that cruise corporations can earn even more? Vote no on April 30th.
Let's protect what makes Cayman unique. Vote no to cruise berthing infrastructure.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.